Ladies over the age of 50, I urge you to pay strict attention to my words before you allow anyone near your most delicate regions again. You must understand this message because the insights I am about to reveal can fundamentally alter how you perceive your physical form, your comfort, and your inherent value during this phase of existence. For far too many years, you have been conditioned to remain silent, to endure unnecessary pain, and to accept that passion naturally evaporates as you age. That narrative has been broadcast so loudly that countless women have begun to accept it as their absolute reality, causing them to lose their self-assurance, their intimate connections, and their happiness. It is high time we dismantle those falsehoods and reclaim the truth about our bodies, because that silence has cost women far too much. My name is Dr. Periera, and I am a board-certified gynecologist who has spent over 3 decades guiding women through perimenopause, menopause, and the years that follow. I have sat opposite thousands of patients who believed that specific chapter of their lives had closed only to witness them slowly rediscover themselves, once they comprehended the internal shifts occurring within them. My goal in sharing this video is straightforward, as I aim to restore honesty, empathy, and scientific understanding to a dialogue that has been hushed for much too long. Before we delve any further, I would appreciate hearing from you in the comments section regarding your location to see how far this message travels. If you are viewing this from the United States, please list your state, or if you are elsewhere in the world, kindly mention your country. Our community of women aged 50 and above is truly worldwide, and knowing your origin helps this vital information reach even more individuals who desperately require it. Here is the reality that almost nobody discusses openly regarding the male perspective and the realities of the female body. Most men believe they comprehend what brings a woman pleasure, but very few genuinely grasp what occurs physiologically to a woman after she turns 50. To be completely frank, many women do not fully understand these changes either, because nobody ever described the process to them in a lucid and dignified manner. After menopause arrives, your body commences speaking an entirely new language as your hormones fluctuate and your natural moisture levels transform. Your sensitivity may feel altered, while your emotions and nervous system begin to react in novel patterns that you might not immediately recognize. Pretending that nothing has shifted does not preserve your intimate life, but rather it quietly undermines it over time, causing damage you may not see immediately. You might have observed this yourself, perhaps realizing that while you love your partner deeply, your physical form does not respond in the manner it once did. Maybe you feel less at ease, more rigid, or even encounter physical pain in areas where there used to be only warmth and comfort. You might find yourself declining intimacy more frequently, not because you have ceased loving or caring, but because your body simply no longer feels secure or prepared. Amidst this confusion, many women start to blame themselves, telling themselves they are damaged or that they are no longer desirable to their partners. They convince themselves that this is merely the inevitable cost of growing older, but I am here to state very clearly that this is not the truth. What you are currently experiencing is simple biology rather than a personal failure or a loss of your femininity. When estrogen levels decline, the tissues situated within and surrounding the vagina become significantly thinner and much more fragile than before. Natural lubrication slows down considerably, blood circulation can be reduced, and your nervous system requires more time to feel completely relaxed and open to touch. None of these occurrences are your fault, as these are normal and predictable alterations that happen to the human body. However, when nobody explains these shifts to you, it becomes very easy to believe something is defectively wrong with you, or to assume you must endure pain. You do not have to live with pain or numbness, because one of the most vital lessons I want you to absorb is that discomfort is common, but not mandatory. Your body still possesses the knowledge to feel pleasure, and it still remembers how to experience warmth, closeness, and deep satisfaction. It merely requires a different variety of care, a much gentler pace, and better support than it needed when you were 25 years old. There is also something else occurring beneath the surface when you begin to feel disconnected from your physical self. This disconnection does not just influence your physical experiences, but it also impacts how you view yourself as a woman in this world. You may start to question your own desirability, your self-confidence, and that inner spark that makes you unique. You might feel guilty for saying no, yet afraid to say yes if it results in physical pain or emotional discomfort. That internal conflict can be exhausting, but that spark inside you has not vanished, nor has it expired. It remains there, waiting to be reignited with understanding and kindness once you finally realize that your body is not breaking, but merely changing. Everything shifts when you stop blaming yourself and stop pretending that everything is fine, when it clearly is not. Slowly, you begin to reclaim ownership of your comfort and your pleasure, which changes how you approach every aspect of your life. In this video, I am going to guide you through what genuinely changes in a woman's body after 50 and what most men simply do not know. We will discuss how to protect your comfort and health, how to articulate your needs without shame, and how to gently reawaken your desire. Towards the conclusion, I will also share a simple nightly routine that many of my patients claim help them feel more alive and confident. But before we can discuss partners' routines or communication strategies, we must begin with you and your internal experience. We need to name the silent struggle that so many women carry in isolation, because understanding that struggle changes everything. When you finally comprehend that burden, you will see that your body is not the enemy, but is asking for your attention. When women reach their 50s and 60s, they often begin carrying a quiet weight that very few people ever notice or acknowledge. It manifests in subtle ways, such as hesitating when a partner reaches for them or feeling tense when intimacy is suggested. They wonder why their body feels unfamiliar, and perhaps the most painful part is believing that they are the only ones enduring this. You are not alone, because this silent struggle is one of the most common experiences I hear about in my office. Yet almost no one speaks about it honestly because society celebrates youth but goes silent when women age. That silence leads many to believe that their discomfort or loss of desire is a personal failure when it is actually just biology. Biology can be understood, supported, and softened, which I saw clearly with a patient named Linda, who was 58. She sat across from me, gently twisting her wedding ring, and told me she loved her husband deeply but feared intimacy. It was not because she had changed her mind about closeness, but because her body no longer felt like a safe haven. She described it as feeling dry, tight, and unwelcoming no matter how much she wanted the moment to feel natural and loving. When she spoke those words, her voice broke because she grieved the loss of emotional closeness she once shared so effortlessly. Women often blame themselves for this shift, but the truth is that the body changes in very predictable and manageable ways. Declining estrogen makes the tissues inside the vagina thinner, while the natural lubrication that once appeared easily now takes longer to arrive. The nerves that were once instantly responsive may need more time to warm up, which is not a sign that something is wrong. Here is something important to remember, which is that pain is never normal, even if it is unfortunately common. If intimacy feels uncomfortable or emotionally heavy, it is not a sign that your desire is gone, but that your body is protecting itself. When the tissues are not hydrated enough or when circulation is low, the body creates tension to guard against potential pain. That tension leads to actual pain, and pain leads to avoiding intimacy altogether, which creates a difficult cycle to escape. When women go long stretches without intimacy, the tissues become even drier, which makes everything harder for the next attempt. It becomes a cycle that many women feel trapped inside, but that cycle can be broken with the right knowledge and care. Now let us talk about something that many people misunderstand, especially men who often interpret a woman's slower response as personal rejection. They think she does not want them anymore, or they imagine that something is fundamentally wrong with the relationship itself. The truth is very different because women after 50 respond not to pressure, but to patience, and not to speed, but to safety. The female body cannot relax unless it feels emotionally safe, because that sense of safety signals the nervous system to unwind. Without that emotional grounding, the body remains tight-guarded and unresponsive, regardless of how much the mind might want to connect. I once worked with a woman named Carol who told me her husband thought she did not care anymore, but she truly did. She just needed more time, and what she needed was not intensity but gentleness, attentiveness, and a much slower rhythm. When her husband finally understood that her body had simply changed its tempo, everything shifted for them and their connection deepened. Once you understand that your body is not failing you but communicating with you, the guilt disappears and the shame lifts. Next, we are going to explore something that surprises many women, which is the remarkable purpose and beauty of your natural fluids. When we begin talking about vaginal fluids, many women instinctively lower their voices, look away, or speak with a sense of embarrassment. For decades, society taught women that anything involving their intimate health should be hidden, minimized, or dismissed as unimportant. But your fluids are not something to be ashamed of, as they are one of the most important indicators of your body's well-being. They protect you, hydrate you, and communicate what your body needs, long before you actually feel any discomfort or pain. I often tell my patients that their fluids are not just moisture, but a living system working constantly to keep them safe. They maintain the ideal pH to prevent infection and keep the delicate tissues inside the vagina soft and flexible. After menopause, this remarkable system undergoes changes as estrogen declines, and the cells responsible for producing moisture become less active. The tissue becomes thinner and more sensitive, while the balance of natural hydration shifts, causing dryness or irritation. These shifts are not signs of aging poorly, they are signs that your biology is adapting to a new phase of life. Even small lifestyle habits can make a meaningful difference, such as drinking enough water to improve tissue hydration. Using gentle moisturizers made for intimate skin softens the tissue and reduces discomfort, allowing you to reconnect with confidence. When your fluids change, your experience of intimacy changes too, affecting how quickly your body warms up and how easily you relax. Many women think the solution is to push through discomfort or pretend nothing has changed, but pushing through leads to pain. Your body does not need pressure, it needs support and understanding, just like a woman I knew who was a widow. She felt embarrassed because she did not respond the way she used to, and felt like her body had forgotten how to open. But her body did not forget, it simply needed time, hydration, circulation, and emotional safety to function as it once did. Studies show that a woman's intimate response after menopause depends far more on emotional comfort and steady stimulation than on quick arousal. Your body opens when it feels supported, softens when it feels understood, and responds when it feels deeply connected. Intimacy after 50 is not driven by physical sensation alone, but is driven by the emotional experience you share with your partner. Your fluids, your tissues, and your nervous system respond to how safe, seen, and cared for you feel in that moment. This is why the mind matters just as much as the body, and why emotional safety is the foundation of pleasure. If your mind is tense, overwhelmed, or fearful, your body cannot relax. And when the body cannot relax, pleasure becomes difficult. A woman's nervous system responds directly to emotional cues, and when she feels safe, oxytocin increases and blood flow improves. That is why emotional connection is not optional. It is essential for the body to shift from protection to openness. Communication becomes the next transformational step, yet for so many women, speaking up feels frightening and fraught with anxiety. They fear hurting their partner's feelings or being misunderstood, but silence does not protect closeness. It creates a vast distance. Expressing your needs is not selfish. It is sacred and acts as an act of honesty that protects your relationship. What men often do not realize is that after 50, a woman's body needs more time, warmth, and gentleness. When a woman speaks from love rather than frustration, most partners soften, listen, and become gentle instead of defensive. Start simply by using phrases that focus on connection rather than criticism, such as saying you love being close to them. These small sentences build bridges instead of walls, and the moment communication improves, something powerful begins to change between you. Now that we have explored the emotional foundation, it is time to bring everything together in our final part regarding self-care. I want you to recognize that everything you have heard was never about fixing you or trying to turn back time. It was about helping you see that your body emotions and desires still hold extraordinary wisdom and nothing has expired. You are allowed to want comfort and closeness without guilt, pressure, or embarrassment, because this is a new chapter. Before you can reconnect with your partner, you must reconnect with yourself, which begins with a simple nightly ritual. I recommend choosing a quiet moment before bed to place a warm compress on your lower belly and feel the muscles relax. Drink a small glass of water to support hydration, then gently massage a natural oil around the outer intimate skin. This practice restores moisture, improves elasticity, and reminds your body that it is still deserving of tenderness and care. Women who follow this ritual often tell me they feel more alive and confident and approach intimacy with less fear. Intimacy at this age is emotional renewal and the rediscovery of softness, confidence, and trust in your own skin. You are not becoming less, you are becoming more aware, more attuned, and more connected to what truly matters. I want you to look at yourself with the same compassion you would offer a dear friend, because you deserve confidence. There is nothing diminished about you, there is only transformation, and when a woman embraces this, her entire presence changes. Your story is not over, your body is still yours, and your capacity for joy is as real today as ever. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments to help other women. Your experiences help other women feel less alone and remind them that this journey is shared by millions globally. Before we close, let me remind you that this video is for educational purposes only and does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique, so if you are experiencing pain or significant changes, please consult with your provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care and attention, so please take the necessary steps to look after your health. Thank you for spending this time with me and allowing me to share these vital truths with you today.